Two experienced divers went on an exploratory dive at a shipwreck site in Malta. While exploring, one of the divers found himself in difficulty, leaving the second one with the dangerous choice of helping him out and neglecting his own safety. The Polynésien is a wreck from World War I that's located off the coast of Żonqor in Marsascala, Malta. The ship, known as the SS Polynésien, or Le Polynésien, is over 500 feet long. It was built for a French shipping company called La Compagnie des Messageries Maritimes at a shipyard in La Ciotat, France. This ship had several sister ships, including the Australien, Armand Behic, and Ville de La Ciotat. These ships were easily recognized because of their long shape, their low profile on the water, and their distinctive double funnels that were painted black. Between 1895 and 1905, these ships were painted white, making them stand out even more. Le Polynésien was launched on April 18, 1890, by Marie-Françoise Sadi-Carnot, who was the president of the Republic of France at the time. Before the war, the ship operated on a route that connected France and Australia, transporting passengers and cargo between the two countries. However, in the early days of World War I, it was taken over by the French Navy and used for military purposes. However, in August 1918, the ship's journey came to a tragic end when it was struck by a torpedo fired from a German submarine. The attack caused the ship to sink, resulting in the loss of 11 crew members and 6 passengers. Today, the wreck of the Le Polynésien rests in the seabed at a depth of 213 feet. The ship lies at a 45-degree angle, making it an intriguing yet challenging site for divers. Its location is also exposed to strong underwater currents, causing difficulty for anyone intending to dive there. Due to these conditions, the wreck is considered a deep dive, suitable only for technical divers or those who are very experienced. Le Polynésien is widely regarded as one of the top dive sites in the world for wreck diving enthusiasts. The combination of its historical significance, the challenge it presents, and its underwater beauty make it a highly sought-after destination for ambitious wreck divers. Krzysztof Bielecki, a 48-year-old diver, was the founder of the largest Polish diving club in England. He was a highly respected and well-known figure in the diving community, where he was affectionately known as Dad or Bialy. Krzysztof's passion for diving went beyond just his personal enjoyment of the sport. He was deeply committed to sharing his love for diving with others and helping the sport grow, especially among the Polish community in Great Britain. Krzysztof's dedication to the diving club he founded was evident in the way he attracted so many diving enthusiasts. He was not just a leader who organized dives and events. He also took on the role of a mentor for many young and inexperienced divers. He guided them, taught them, and helped them develop their skills, always encouraging them to pursue their passion for diving. On the morning of Saturday, July 6, 2024, 2 Polish divers who lived in the UK, Krzysztof Bielecki and his dive buddy, Dominik Dubaj, decided to embark on an exciting diving adventure in Malta. Krzysztof was a well-known figure in the diving community, and Dominik, a 45-year-old man, was also an experienced diver. Both men were eager to explore the underwater world around Malta, and they were part of a diving school that had planned to dive to explore the wreck of Le Polynésien. Krzysztof and Dominik were part of a diving group and included another experienced diver, Joanna Wyrebek, who was a diving instructor. The group was well prepared and experienced, ready to face the challenges of diving at such a depth. They planned to use closed-circuit rebreathers for the dive, which would allow them to stay underwater longer and reduce the amount of bubbles released, giving them a better chance to observe marine life and the wreck itself. After thoroughly preparing for the dive, Krzysztof and Dominik carefully suited up in their diving gear. They checked all their equipment to ensure everything was functioning correctly, a crucial step before any dive, especially one as deep and challenging as this. With everything in place, the two divers made their way into the water, excited to explore the magnificent underwater scenery that awaited them below. The wreck of Le Polynésien, with its rich history and stunning appearance, promised to be an unforgettable experience for them. The dive was going smoothly until Dominic encountered a serious problem at a depth of 213 feet. The strong current around the wreck made it difficult for him to control his movements, and he began to struggle. When Krzysztof noticed that Dominic was in trouble, he acted quickly. Without hesitation, he rushed to his friend's side, determined to help him. Joanna, the diving instructor, witnessed the entire event as it unfolded. She saw how quickly Krzysztof responded, swimming with urgency toward Dominic to assist him. Realizing the severity of the situation, Krzysztof had to make a quick decision. Dominic's condition was deteriorating rapidly, and Krzysztof knew that every second counted. He understood that the standard dive procedure required them to make decompression stops on their way to the surface, but he also knew that following the procedure would take valuable time that Dominic might not have. Faced with this critical choice, Krzysztof decided to skip the decompression stops and bring Dominic to the surface as quickly as possible. He planned to handle the decompression on oxygen once they were safely out of the water. Krzysztof's only concern was getting Dominic to safety, and in his rush to save his friend's life, he didn't think about the potential risks of skipping the decompression stops. His priority was to prevent Dominic's condition from worsening, so he focused entirely on getting him to the surface as fast as possible. Unfortunately, this decision came with serious consequences. When Krzysztof and Dominic finally surfaced, they had not completed the necessary decompression stops. Instead of feeling relief at reaching the surface, they were faced with a new and grave danger. The lack of decompression put them at risk for decompression sickness, also known as the bends, which can have severe or even fatal outcomes. This situation was far from over, and what had started as a rescue mission now posed a significant threat to both divers' lives. The Armed Forces of Malta were alerted to the incident at around 10:30 a.m. They quickly dispatched a rescue boat to bring the divers back to shore. Once they reached land, medical teams were already on site to provide immediate care. The situation was critical, and both divers were rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. Unfortunately, despite the efforts to save him, Dominic did not survive. The decompression obligation he had skipped was over an hour long, and the severe toll on his body was evident. When he was brought ashore, he was already in grave condition, bleeding from the mouth. He passed away within a half hour of arriving at the hospital, the damage from skipping the decompression procedure proving to be too severe for him to recover. Krzysztof, who had also skipped his decompression stops, was placed in a decompression chamber in an attempt to reverse the effects of the rapid ascent. He had made the difficult decision to treat the decompression on the surface, using oxygen on the boat, rather than following the mandatory procedure underwater. Unfortunately, the consequences of this decision soon became apparent. Krzysztof began to experience paralysis shortly after reaching the boat. Despite being placed in the decompression chamber and receiving further medical treatment, his condition continued to deteriorate. Later in the evening, he succumbed to the complications caused by his injuries and the decompression sickness that had set in. The case was taken seriously, and Magistrate Joseph Massoud was informed, leading to the appointment of an inquiry. The police had also began their investigations into the incident to understand exactly what had gone wrong. However, due to the nature of police investigations in Malta, where reports are typically kept confidential, it's unlikely that there will be an official public statement about the findings. Krzysztof and Dominic's demise were a significant loss to the diving community, but Krzysztof's passing was especially tragic because it could have been avoided. Many experienced divers were shocked and puzzled by why someone with Krzysztof's knowledge and experience would put himself in such a dangerous situation. It's well understood in the diving world that a buddy in trouble during a decompression dive is a serious challenge. The chances of successfully rescuing someone during a dive that requires an hour or more of decompression stops are slim. If you choose to stay with them without completing those stops, you are putting your own life at great risk. Krzysztof, an experienced diver, knew the dangers, but it seemed he found it difficult to leave Dominic and surface alone. It might have been even harder for him knowing that if he had surfaced alone to save himself, he could have faced blame or even prosecution for abandoning Dominic, possibly being accused of causing his demise. Malta's history might have played a role in Krzysztof's decision. For those who may not know, Malta has had 2 cases where people were prosecuted or faced severe legal action for not effectively rescuing a diver in distress. One of these cases involved immersion pulmonary edema, a condition that might have been a factor in this situation as well. Knowing this, Krzysztof may have felt pressured to take on more risk during the rescue, fearing legal consequences if he didn't try to save Dominic. Sympathy and condolences go out to the families and friends of the deceased divers. May the memory of Krzysztof Bielecki and his companion inspire us all to prioritize safety even more in our diving practices. We would like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching, take a dive on the like and subscribe buttons and hit the bell icon so you get notified when we come back with another exciting diving story.